5 stocks that can improve their products with generative AI, like the popular OpenAI ChatGPT, DALL-E, and even Midjourney. All this in today's episode and more, so let's get started. Alright, so the first company we're going to take a closer look at is Unity Software, and if you have been a follower of this channel, all the stocks I'm going to take a closer look at are ones you should be familiar with. So for those that are not familiar with Unity, this is a real-time 3D tool that is used to design games. But the great thing is with real-time 3D, it can be used for other solutions. Like I mentioned, games is one of their biggest markets. The architecture, automotive, and film industries are other solutions where Unity's 3D real-time engine tools work really well. So Unity, I'm going to explain how generative AI can really boost this company's product in a bit. But first, there is this pretty cool podcast that comes from AIbusiness.com. They had Unity's AI chief, and he does talk a little bit about generative AI. The podcast came out on December 20th of 2022, and I highlighted some of the key points. The first key point, they talk about what kind of businesses are partnering with Unity, and this executive mentioned that one very interesting customer of theirs is DeepMind, and their mission is to create artificial general intelligence. They run Unity at large scale and generate behavioral data for avatars and agents solving tasks. He does also go on to mention that another Unity user is OpenAI. Their work is making rounds with GPT-3, ChatGPT, and the generative AI DALL-E. So we already see that companies are using Unity to kind of practice their artificial intelligence and their machine learning. And before I go to the next question, I kind of just want to show Unity's and their machine learning platform. They do have these machine learning agents. These machine learning agents can be used in games, but we are seeing from certain customers, they're also being used in other industrial versions. So here we can see it. Let's say you're trying to create a non-player character in a game to play soccer, right? You can just kind of use these machine learning agents to keep playing games over and over and over again until they become a great computer to play against when kind of playing by yourselves. And there's numerous ways that you can use Unity's machine learning agents, from integrating, from training, and then embedding it into your own application. You can also scale up using Unity's machine learning agent clouds, where instead of just learning through one computer, you can kind of use their whole cloud. And depending on obviously how much money you're willing to use, you can scale up that machine learning to numerous instances at one time. Now I kind of want to go back to this podcast from AI Business. There was a second question that kind of asked, what use cases do you envision generative AI will be applied to? And this Unity's executive mentioned it will remove some of the bottlenecks in creation. The gaming industry has worked on overcoming that bottleneck. And that bottleneck they mentioned is creators and the workforce in general. They mentioned that that bottleneck is no longer as strong in the gaming market, but when you start to kind of enter those enterprise and business world, the creator right now, the creator workload is really bottlenecked by the creators themselves. They do say, imagine a city council wants a digital twin of the city to do some planning. It is difficult for that facility to hire skilled developers to sit and code in Unity. That is where generative AI comes in. It empowers creators to be more productive and to create vast amount of data. They also mentioned the other thing, it can help with writing code. It's very good at writing code, and there's going to be a time when developers are going to spend less time writing code and more time expressing what they need. That increased productivity is going to be transformative for applications of the metaverse outside of narrow space like gaming. And I think this is where Unity can benefit a lot right now, where most creators or people that use Unity need some form of strong Unity developer. But with cases with generative AI, even maybe not your true Unity professional will be able to create something in Unity to kind of help with their digital twin, or for whatever form of machine learning or artificial intelligence, VR or whatever. If they're trying to develop a game, if they're trying to develop maybe a movie, a film, if they are in architecture of some sort or some form of construction, and all these industries that Unity hits, generative AI will kind of reduce that hurdle or that wall that many people are facing when trying to enter in this space. Another thing is, I am a constant listener of Unity's earnings call, and I couldn't find exactly the right earnings call. I know it was a few quarters ago. They did mention that Unity is working on a way to make the creation process a lot easier, where it's no longer the kind of developers that are using it. It's also going to be just your random hobbyist or just the regular consumer that wants to create something. They will be able to do it through Unity. So Unity is going to be the first company that I talk about that I believe can benefit, and that great podcast I do believe shares some great insight as well.
Before we go any further, I want to thank you for watching, and I need your help to reach my goal of 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you can do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and thumbs up. Also, if you want some fantastic insight into the semiconductor industry, join my other channel, Semiconductor Investing and More, where I use my electrical engineering background to break down the semiconductor market. Finally, I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
Now, the second company I want to take a closer look at is Shopify, the e-commerce giant. And some of you might be wondering, Jose, how does Shopify, an e-commerce, how can they use generative AI to improve their solutions? Well, I mean, right here, Shopify on its own is a great place to kind of develop a website. But creating a website takes a lot of time. And just even though Shopify already has certain themes and templates for you, you still have to work with things with description on products, on how to write your landing page or contact page and all that. And generative AI can definitely help with it. For example, on February 9th of 2023, Shopify introduced AI-generated product descriptions powered by Shopify Magic. So for example, if you are selling a portable table lamp that's out of aluminum, dimmable LED, minimalist design, soft and warm glow, and you just don't know how to create the perfect product description for that, we can see that this kind of generative AI for Shopify does that and gives the seller a great way to write that product description. And this ends up being a win-win for Shopify the following. First, it creates a form of great solutions for the seller. But the second thing is, if the sellers themselves are creating better websites, they're more likely to sell a product. And if they're more likely to sell a product, Shopify is going to make money one way or another. And Shopify does mention that this is just the beginning portion of this. They are going to start using generative AI in other aspects outside of just product description. Hey, maybe you might be creating a website that's about gaming, and you want the perfect images and you want the perfect layout for the text, for the great place to put your YouTube videos, your blogs. With generative AI, you will be able to kind of put, hey, looking for a template for this, and it would give you that. So it would make Shopify, again, I don't think any of this will be it will make stock prices jump 3x, 4x, 5x. But I do believe it will improve their products, and improving their products, they will be able to grab bigger market shares. So I can see Shopify also gaining from this. The third company I want to take a closer look at is Meta Platforms, the huge social media company. And the way I believe Meta Platforms, I've talked about it a lot in this channel, they've done numerous generative AI already. Make a video, for example, where you can generate a short video via text. I think that's insane on its own. They also have make a scene where you can create an image out of text messaging. And the great thing about this and why this could benefit Meta Platforms is Meta is a huge advertisement site. And unfortunately, a lot of small businesses don't have the kind of creative money to get some form of designer to design an amazing ad. But with generative AI, who knows, they might sell it at some form of fee that, hey, I'm looking for an ad for this purpose, to use this image, to make this pop out or this, and to be this colors. And they'll be able to make this amazing, eye-pleasing advertisement that they can use in Facebook and Instagram and all the other platforms. And again, this is a great way for Meta to continue to grab that advertisement space. And they already do have a lot of information, right? For the great thing about Meta is this is a place where you share a lot of text, where you share a lot of images, where you share a lot of videos. So their data is immense. And the way for them to be able to create some amazing generative AI, that's definitely a great perk for them. Now, the final two companies, companies 4 and 5, I'm going to go through them pretty quickly because these are the ones we've heard a lot about. So that's going to be Alphabet, Google, and Microsoft. So the first way is going to be the overall search engine. And this is the big AI tech battle that we've been seeing in the past few weeks. Microsoft is improving their Bing platform. Google is releasing Bard for their Google search engine, and overall in just improving the AI in search. But the other thing is both these platforms have other avenues outside of search. For example, Microsoft has a very productivity line with presentations, with Word. Google has the same thing with their Office Drive, so they can do things like this, where this is a prime example, and maybe right now it's not working as intended. That's okay if technology evolves. But one example that Microsoft gave is with the Edge sidebar, you can ask for a summary of a lengthy financial report to get the key takeaways, and then use the chat function to ask for a comparison to a competing company's financial and automatically put it in a table. So again, this is a great way to use generative AI. Maybe right now it might not work properly, but this can overall increase the solutions in their productivity sides for both Microsoft and Google. Again, Google also does have that YouTube search, so they might have some form of generative AI as well for the creation of content like Meta does. So again, these are companies that, in my opinion, 5 stocks that can benefit dramatically in forms of their products thanks to generative AI. Let me know some examples that you might have on the comments below. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.